We love supporting our veterans and the programs that help veterans live happy, healthy lives, and that applies to owning homes as well. And our guest is Jonathan Howard, branch manager for Howard Team Home Loans. You're here with some insight to help our friends, our veterans. Wonderful.
Absolutely. So I'm not a veteran myself, but there's so much misinformation when it comes to VA loans that back in 2020, I made it a mission to get better at VA loans. And so I joined this group called the Veteran Mortgage Advisors, where it's a group of loan officers across the country where we help each other get better at VA loans, so our service members that have fought for our country can own a piece of land that they protected.
That's wonderful. They come to you and you know all the ins and outs and you're ready to go. Let's do some myth busting with this.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people may think to themselves, for instance, I have heard this, that appraisals are tougher for VA loans, but that's false, right?
It is, and people think that appraisals don't come in at value. It's like, oh, I don't want to accept the VA offer because it's never going to pass. All appraisers care about is that the home is safe, sound, and sanitary. So as long as there is 3 steps, you need a handrail on that. If there's chip paint on a home, you might have to scrape it and do that. So it's very, very easy, minor things. But appraisals come at value over 90% at the time, which is better than conventional loans. Appraisers want to help the veteran get into the home, but they just want to make sure it's safe, sound, and sanitary.
That makes sense. Okay, I've also heard along those same lines that underwriting is more difficult. But again, I think you explained it.
Yeah.
If you're an expert, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, a lot of times when a veteran gets partnered with a mortgage company, it's the strength of the loan officer that knows and understands the programs. But the VA guidelines are the most lenient guidelines. In fact, they don't have a debt-to-income ratio requirement. So there's a lot of times where I have a veteran that said they want to come in and get a conventional loan. They don't qualify for a conventional loan, but we can get you on a VA loan, which has a lower interest rate, no mortgage insurance, and does not require a down payment because your down payment was a service to our country.
Absolutely. Okay, now I've also heard sellers net less. Again, not true.
Not true. Once upon a time, the seller was required to pay for the pest inspection, but the VA said, you know what, that's going to inhibit our veterans for getting under contract. So the veteran's allowed to pay for that now. So if I'm a seller and I accept my house is $400,000, and I'm either going to offer a cash deal or a VA loan, I'm going to net exactly the same amount of money on that.
That makes sense. Okay, I love what you do, the fact that you're in there on those councils, educating other people in your industry about veteran loans. Very cool. I also want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about renovation loans, because that's obviously affecting our area with what we just went through last year with the hurricanes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hurricane Helene, I call her Helene the Humbler. She humbled the heck out of me because my house was also destroyed where I took about 1.5 feet of water in on the surge. And a lot of communities have been devastated by it. And there's a lot of, the home has good bones, but maybe it needs new floors, drywall. We have renovation loans that you can buy this home at a great deal under market and then get the repairs rolled into the cost of the loan. And now you have this beautiful home in a great area that is fixed and ready to go.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for educating us about stuff that is so important, home ownership, from the veteran aspect to those who've gone through what we did last year, this whole community. You're doing a great job. We appreciate it. And there's the information for our viewers to reach out to you, the Howard Team Home Loans. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.